whatever, a little bit of background. Tell us really how you hear today, and then start thinking, talk about moving into what your crisis was like for you, what you felt, what you saw, you heard all that descriptor. Then think about going into good provision of service or an organisation working with you looks like possibly, and then obviously what bad looks like. But tell us your story, is that all right?
Yeah. So my name is Dafydd Mills. I'm 17 from Ammanford, and from let's say year 8, I was depressed. I had anxiety. I was suicidal. I had nothing to live for. From that kind of moment, then when I realised that there was something wrong with me, I ended up missing 3 years of school. 3 years of building social skills, 3 years of building life skills and educational skills all went down the drain. I was in bed 24/7 with nothing to live for, in that inhumane state of I don't want to be here. It's just that feeling that's indescribable unless you've been there, and it's like it's unfathomable to try and explain what it's like. It's just you don't want to be there. You're just inhumane. You try, it's as if you try and scream out for help, but no one can hear you, no one can understand you, and no one can relate to you, kind of thing.
Okay, is there anything in particular, in terms of that, you can describe more vividly, what do you hear, anything about, do you see anything in terms of your symptoms, or is that, you don't have to go there if you don't want to.
I think it is a case of, I'd be in bed all day, every day. I wouldn't be able to get out, I physically couldn't get out of bed. I was at a point I wouldn't be able to speak to anyone. I wouldn't be able to communicate in any way, and I literally couldn't cope with life. I literally couldn't, I couldn't imagine waking up the next day, kind of thing.
So in terms of how you felt then in that time, how would you want to be, what does good look like? How would you want to be treated? What would have possibly helped you, supported you during that time?
Well, I think the key thing for me was for those first 3 years, I had no idea what was going on. My parents had no idea what was going on, and nobody around me did. And I think that was because of how much society understands mental health and how aware people are, and the general stigma around it. I think that's the biggest key that I really needed. I needed people to know that it was a thing, and it was something that needed to be acknowledged, and that it is important as physical health. And that's one really big thing that I lacked, and that not only my family but society and peers in school and teachers had no idea what was going on. I guess being in that state, then you start going into that state of feeling insane and feeling crazy, and that all this escalates. When you're in that state, you can't rationally think. You can't think with your head. You can't think with your brain. You're just thinking, with your emotional one. Say you've got like a rational mind and an emotional mind, and it's that emotional mind that takes over, and that isn't strong enough to control itself.
But let's carry on if we can. In terms of then, if you were, looking at an organisation dealing with a crisis, we mentioned what bad looks like, and so what would good look like? What would good look like? What would bad look like to you? Then how wouldn't you want to be handled? What would it be detrimental to you? And what did you experience, if you did experience anything that was bad, that impacted on you?
For me, something bad would just be not being accepted for, being, yes, I'm a person, but yes, I've also got, I know people don't like to use it as a tag, but yes, I've also got depression, yes, I've also got anxiety, but that doesn't make me different. That doesn't make me inhumane. I might feel like it, but at the end of the day, that's not how I need to be supported to get to a better place. I don't need to be treated like an animal. I need to be given the care, given the attention, given the love that I need to overcome my issues and overcome my anxieties.
And in terms of where you are now, do you want to give us a little bit back? Do you want to give us a back on where you are now?
Well, after say those 3-4 years missing school, I ended up with CAMS, got referred to a safe therapy program, which absolutely changed my life. I've been surfing ever since, and I've just fallen in love with the outdoors and anything sporty, anything adventure-y. I'm loving it. And since then, I'm now going into outdoor ed in college, and my main ambitions in the future is to support other young people who are in care or who are in foster homes or disadvantaged through mental health problems, is to support those people through outdoor activities and outdoor education.
Can you just tell us a bit about your own educational attainments? Since you missed 3 years of school?
Yeah, so I missed 3 years of school. I fortunately got the opportunity to go to a specialist centre based in Llanelli called Cynofon y Gors. I think the biggest thing there compared to my mainstream was that they understood those, the teachers there, the peers there, they understood, they knew how to care and how to look after me as a person with anxiety and depression, and they knew what to do. And then since then, I ended up going back a year to kind of catch up on my GCSEs, since it's not the easiest, missing 3 years, but since then I've left about a month ago with 8 GCSEs, and I'm going into a level 3 course doing what I love, and I wouldn't change it for a thing.
Is there anything else you want to add? Feel free.
I'm happy if you're happy.